we're at war right now. And this war is for our livelihoods and it's for our lives. And we need to start approaching this from that perspective. We need to start understanding that we are at war. And the only way we're going to save our lives and the only way we're going to save this country is actually to do something. We're still thinking in a defensive mode. We're still thinking that we need to sit here and keer as die mense kom, and that's not the way to do this thing. We've got a golden opportunity here with this virus. We're never going to get this opportunity again, and it's probably the best thing that's going to happen to us as far as bringing in a new governance and a new management into this country. And we need to take this opportunity with both hands. And we've got to get out of the fear. I think that's the first thing that we have to do, is get rid of the fear immediately and start seeing this thing for what it is. It's an opportunity. And it's not going to come around again. And if we let this pass by, we're going to be way, way worse off than you can possibly imagine. Now, to say that the government has an agenda is not necessarily true. They do have, obviously, there's something that they're planning, but these guys are on their back feet. They're just as afraid. We need to understand that. You know, to hear Malema saying the things that he's been saying now, it means he's run out of options. He's got nothing else to say. So he's starting to use these kind of defensive tactics in a way, because these are not offensive tactics that he's using. You know, he's saying to the local people, you know, don't be afraid to starve because this is a good cause. You understand? So in other words, what he's saying is we don't have money to feed you and you're going to starve. We're dealing with a government who really are polarized by their own fear, they're polarized by their greed, and they're really polarized because they don't really have the understanding of how to handle this. But this is our opportunity as South Africans to take this country back and to turn it into what it was always meant to be, a prosperous, powerful nation that it can be. But the structure has to change. We can't be running a country on political structures any longer because politics in Africa is just not working. It's dividing people, it's putting people against each other, people are killing each other because of politics, and it's because there are a few guys who have decided they are experts in this thing and they're just putting people against each other so that they can make more money out of it. And this has to change. So we have to come with an entirely different structure, something that's completely different and something that will bring everybody on board, that nobody's going to feel excluded, nobody's going to feel like they're being put against somebody else, that everybody can be free in a system that is for all the people. And so the system that we have been proposing is an economic system of governance. It's a system of governance where you have got the country is set up as a commercial entity. The country is set up as a company. It's a corporation. It has a CEO at the top, a CFO, and a board of directors that run the country. All right. Now, if there are any decisions that need to be made, this is a bottom-up structure. It's not a top-down structure. It's a bottom-up structure. So CEO decides we need to build a bridge, right? So he puts out all the advantages, disadvantages to the people, and the people vote. Yes, we want the bridge. No, we don't want the bridge. It's going to cost too much money. We don't want it, or we can afford it. You understand? So it's a completely different system. This way, nobody is excluded. This way, we're not putting one person against the other because the structure is perfect. Are you with me? All we're needing to do now is to get to that place where we get that structure working efficiently. But there is an entire strategy that's been set up. Everything all over the country has been mapped. Everything is mapped. There's a perfect plan. The only thing is we have to do this thing together. We have to be of like mind one way or another. If you feel it, if you feel that this is the right thing to do and that's the right thing to support, then get behind it and let's make it happen. The other thing that I would like to say is a lot of people have been saying, why don't you speak to Trump, or why don't you speak to some of these foreign powers, Putin, or whatever the case may be. And I just realized after having a conversation with a close associate of Putin the other day, is that these guys want something. They're not, especially them, they're not going to give you 300 million rand for nothing. You understand? They're going to want something in return. And I believe that we can do this ourselves as South Africans. I don't believe we need everybody's money, and I don't believe we need to do it expensively either. I think we can do this thing pretty cheaply. And I think that's what this is about, Get our minds around this thing, work towards an end goal, which is getting ourselves free, and just make it happen. Nobody has heard of an economic system of governance before. It's an entirely new concept to everybody. Nobody's obeying the Constitution. No one's listening to the rules. Everybody's making their own rules. So the whole concept of a political system doesn't hold water anymore. This structure doesn't include me, okay? Okay, so this isn't about me having any part in the structure whatsoever. I'm just the catalyst to get the thing going, and then to get people that are a lot cleverer than me to run the place, you know. And I think it's obviously going to have to be a lot of very clever black people, get them in power, let them run the place, and we can assist them, you know. We can be there to assist them, to give them advice, to help them with whatever they need, but in a non-racist, judgmental kind of way, if you know what I mean, where we are all functioning as one single unit. So that's what the idea is, really. Again, as far as decision making is concerned, the decision making is over to the people. So the people are making the decisions. Again, if a decision needs to be made, it's put to the population decides using a fingerprint app on their phone. Simple thing. And if you don't have a phone like that, your neighbor's got one, and you register, and you make the decisions that way. The nitty-gritty of it, you know, the little fine bits of it, we're obviously going to have to work out, and we're going to need to get a lot of people on board who can do that kind of thinking, you understand, who can put all of those nuts and bolts together and build the constitution or build the concept as we're going along. Our strategy is not to say anything, not to engage with anybody, not to talk to anybody, not to have any court cases, nothing at all, but just to do it. Once we get the whole thing rolling, we immediately launch out on big projects, like building a canal from the Orange River all the way down that can, you know, water all those farms that are coming down, you know, build massive solar farms, you know, just do a lot of things, build dams. We obviously don't have enough dams, so build a whole lot of dams. Just spend money, you understand? Just spend huge amounts of money on funding, or on giving jobs, basically. So you'll be spending a lot of money, but it'll be manpower that'll be earning that money and recycling it back into the system. So it wouldn't necessarily be money lost, it'll just be money that you're recycling. You're offering us a possibility of getting my pride back as in working, whereas the government is only offering me free handouts all the time. So that is part of the strategy, definitely. The final question is, what are we going to do? Are we going to just continue the way we are? You know, we're going to just continue allowing the stuff to take over our lives, or are we going to fight? But we need a support system, a foundation, is what we're building in our middle class communities, be they black, white, colored, whatever the case may be. We're building a foundation, and a foundation to support our action. So the action is a physical action, but the foundation needs to be very solid so that the physical action can succeed. We're going to have to give proper education. We're going to have to uplift those societies. We're going to really have to help them and bring them up, because you see, an entire country suffers when the majority of the people are in poverty. But as soon as you bring them out of poverty, the whole country comes out of poverty, and we all benefit from it. Because when that guy's earning $1 million a month, then we all start earning more money. You understand? That's how it works, because there's that knock-on effect. While you're keeping him poor, you're keeping yourself poor. And that's what we don't understand that. So our goal, our ambition has got to be to uplift absolutely everybody and make them independent. Right now they're interdependent. Right now they're dependent on the government. And we've got to stop that. We've got to help people to stop being dependent on the government.